Hey guys, Ben Vic here, back with another review. Today we are looking at this. This is the AugVape Zoom mod kit. Comes with this sub tank on top as well. It is an incredibly dinky 60 watt mod with a built-in 2000 mAh LiPo. There it is there. Now it looks very classy on one side and it has big old Zoom written on the other side, which is quite an interesting design choice. USB charging mandatory. The tank comes with a 0.8 and a 1.5 coil. But the coils are in vertical style and we'll come back to that later on. So it's got this big old fire button here, very ergonomic. You can sort of hold it like that, you can hold it sort of flat like that, and so, you know, a very dinky mod. If you want to get an example size wise, this whole setup compared to a Hannah box like that, look at that, massive size difference there. The next mod in the line to be reviewed as well is the Serpent. It's a tiny bit taller than the Serpent, but it is way narrower. Look at that. So, an extremely narrow device, an extremely small, dinky kit. Very sturdy, very interesting indeed. Let's go down low, have a good look at it, and then we'll come back up top. Okay guys, here we are up close with the Zoom 60 box mod kit, designed by AugVape. You know, the guys that did the Merlin and stuff like that. I'm quite a big fan of AugVape's work up to this point. Taking the sleeve off, and you can open it up like this, and inside you have your mod. Let's take that out. Instruction booklet under there. You've got your charge cable. I don't really recommend those charge cables. I think they're a bit flimsy. You get your spare coil head, which is a 1.5. You get your O-rings, and you get your tank. So let's have a look. So first of all, this coil head. Now this is, as it says on, a 1.5 ohm coil head, 20 to 40 watts. But look at the size of the hole down there. That just seems completely out of kilter to me. And I'll talk about that a bit more up top. But if I had one flaw to point at this, it would be the coil heads don't seem to match the style that the tank wants you to vape at. So this is said tank. Adjustable airflow like this. You've got your drip tip here. Non-adjustable, you know, you can't use another drip tip or anything like that. That's how you top fill it, in the same way as like the Mage, you know, you just unscrew that, so don't let that get too tight. And then if you take it underneath, if you go right down like that, try and do this without making a mess, that is how you access your coil head and all that stuff. 2 mil capacity, very dinky indeed, TPD compliant, you could argue. Yeah, so that is the tank, and if we screw that back on the mod, actually no, I'll take you for a tour around the mod and then we'll put that tank on. So this is your mod. 1, 2, 3, locks it, there we go. So black on this side, you've got your down, up, and then your menu button. That is your fire button, very nice indeed. Charge cable on this side. Venting on the bottom. And then you can see it says Zoom 60, designed by AugVape there. Very nice indeed. You've got your spring-loaded 510. No issues with that 510 at all. One thing to remember, this will only flushly, neatly fit 22 mil atomizers. Bear that in mind. But something so small, really, anything else would look a bit too big anyway. This is a stealthy sort of situation, isn't it? And then on the back, it has Zoom written in a graffiti style. Which just seems, on this mod in particular, it seems out of place. I've got to say that. But again, very solid, very nice and solid, you know, device. I really can't stress that enough. Super well made, just like all their tanks are, which is great. So, the menu. Oh, well, let's put a tank on. It might make the menu more fun. Oh, one thing I've noticed when screwing this on, you just need to give it a little push, because it's spring loaded, and it starts quite high. It's quite a big spring. So if you just give it a little push, it screws on better. And that's what it looks like all together. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and we are on. You've got your wattage, you've got your ohms, your voltage, and your battery life there. You can go down and up with the down and up buttons, which seems sensible. If you press menu, you can then flavor select, which is what they call the soft, normal, hard, etc. We'll go for normal. Oh, my bad. So we've got settings that has atomizer timeout, shutdown time, LCD brightness, temp unit, so Fahrenheit, Celsius. What's that say? Beginner mode. We don't know anything about that. Restore defaults, and back to atomizer timeout. And the atomizer timeout is currently set at 10 seconds. To get back out of a menu, you hold down the menu button and it takes you back up a level in the menu system. Information, mode select, you know, your TC and all that stuff, and you're back around to flavor select. So if we go to mode select, yes, we got your power mode, voltage mode, temp mode. Go with temp mode, we'll go with 316 stainless, and then you've got all your temp options as well. So absolute piece of cake with that menu system. The one important bit which might get you stuck if you've already owned this mod and you're watching this video just to see what I think, you need to hold the menu button to go back up through the menus. Do bear that in mind. But that's the mod. Let's go back up top. Okay guys, that was the Zoom 60 watt mod from AugVape. AugVape, if you're wondering, they're the guys that did the Merlin, they did the Illyria, the Boris, those guys, AugVape. So they've previously done tanks before this, so this is their first mod to my knowledge. And I've got to say, it's an incredibly feature-packed mod. Usually these dinky mods, they sacrifice a few features, but this has vape taste control, you know, soft, hard and standard. It has all the TC modes, which is great, and it does everything really, really well. I'm not detecting any sort of wave in the vape. It feels very solid, which is incredible for such a small mod. And all that good stuff. I also really like that it has a menu button. I really like that there's a menu button. It makes for such an easy menu to operate. You know, scrolling through the features is a joy with that extra button. And I also really like the fire button as well. But we'll come back to all of that. First of all, the tank. The tank is tiny bit mental, a tiny bit mental. So it vapes okay, it vapes like this. Which is, you know, not terrible at all, but it's a 0.8 coil in a wide vertical style. Really, I would expect a horizontal coil, or certainly a way more restricted coil for a 0.8. It seems like they've got a little bit backward. The 0.8 one actually vapes okay, and that's okay, but the 1.5 ohm head is still a wide open vertical. A 1.5 head that's wide open vertical just seems bizarre to me. It seems bizarre. Surely that should be really insanely reduced and more of a mouth to lungy vape, not needing much power. It's pretty rare that you'd go 50 watts with a 0.8. I don't know how many watts you'd need to get a tune out of the 1.5 head. So the tank, not terrible at all. Certainly a nice addition to the kit. Use the heads that you've got or whatever. The 0.8 one's okay. The 1.5 one just seems mental to me. That should be either really reduced coil vertical or horizontal, or just not 1.5. If they want to go straight to lung, then a lower resistance is appropriate. That being said, though, it's not a deal breaker by any means, and it sort of apes quite well with the 0.8. The mod itself, like I said, it's got so many good features. It's got all the up-to-date modern features that you'd want to have, which is really, really impressive. When you've got a small mod like this, there are some sacrifices, and one sacrifice is the screen. You get very few details on the screen, so you don't get your point of a wattage. It only goes up and down in 1 watt increments, and it only displays, the full solid watt, no decimal points. Likewise, if you move into hard mode or soft mode, you can't actually see that on the screen. You have to remember that. So that's the sacrifice and the compromise with a very small device. But I've got to say, my only final bugbear with this is this. It doesn't need that. It doesn't need that. It's got this lovely writing here. That's as much as you need to identify the mod. It really doesn't need that on the back. I'd love to see that just black. Just black. That would be fantastic in my opinion. I actually think this way round and this way round, it looks absolutely great. So yeah, I think it could look even better without that on. But the positives far outstrip all that stuff. It hits its power mark. It works great in TC. I've been using the iSub on it quite a lot actually, because it's quite a natty finish. I've also been using this on it as well. This is the new Axis Mini from Innokin. And look how dinky that setup is. All black as well. Don't need 45 watts with this. Got a more logical coil ohmage. But again, nice setup, really nice setup. So a really cool mod. It's got a really nice 510. It's really sturdy, really well built. Battery life seems very, very good on it. Charge port, no problem with that at all. I really like the menus, the navigation, and the fire button works no problem at all. It's really comfortable. With it being so big, it's really comfortable to hold like this, or like that, or like that. So it's ambidextrous mod. Depending on what hand you want to use, no problem at all. So I actually think this is a really solid mod. I think the tank could have different coil heads, but the mod is excellent, really, really good. So that's that. I've been Vaping Vic. I'll see you again soon.